Uh, hey,
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 hey, man! Welcome out to Channel14.com's Bodega Nights. I'm Joao, and to my left is Miko, and on the bottom we have Norm.
as usual.
what's
Yeah.
up?
So
I mean,
I've
what's down?
Norm
It's
is
me.
down.
What's up? It's
I'm
me.
down. You're
You
up.
down for this?
Right. So
I
so
guess
I've
so.
decided on I've decided on using streaming as like sort of the visual language for my class, like taking a lot of cues from Miko and a lot of other streamers that I've been watching. So yeah, dude, we do have the whole like starting soon, and this legendary like technical difficulties screen.
I had that for a while. I have a new one though. I think my new one's now. Where's my new one? My new one's this.
Oh, that looks really good.
Screw you guys. I don't have one of those.
Norm's
Yeah.
tech versus he gets like a piece of paper, sticks on the window, and walks away.
But you can chrome
No,
it.
man. I'm just. This is all I do is just this. Like, fuck it.
Just walks away.
Leave the paper. Just stand up and walk away, man.
I would so love though if you had like a freaking whiteboard. You just like write something down, leave it on the chair, and walk out. Like, be right back. It's like that's my screen transition.
It's like taking a dump. BRB.
I'd love that screen transition. That'd be
I
amusing.
should I should do that, dude. Like
And,
I'm
and
pretty
record
sure,
that.
like I have a whiteboard somewhere.
Got
It's
your
a fake
transition.
reel.
Yeah, like BRB, like boom.
You can't, even if you're muted, you know I'm talking to you. Gotta get those
Um,
fan signs.
I don't know, but then the thing is, we can't chroma ourselves out of the shot though. Like
Oh, not like Norm.
that's like the only that's something
Oh
that's
my god,
reserved
Norm.
only for
You can
Norm.
like put that thing, you can put the whiteboard thing, chroma yourself out and look how you disappear. Be right back.
Oh no.
It just like disappears.
I think I did a screen test for that. You guys want to see it
Uh oh.
Or not see it. Let's find out.
or not see it because I'm using a Mac. This is Miko asked me like, what chroma key are you using? I'm using my background, Miko, and the windows are not normally my background in meetings, and this is what it looks like. If Joao can let me share my screen
Oh. Oh
and
no! I'm gonna have to
hug
like.
like a couple.
My God. All right, let's do
Yeah,
this.
you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. Yeah.
It's
Oh.
giving Joao extra work. Why do you do this to me, Norm?
We're
This is what
checking
you
papers.
get, you damn streamers.
Checking papers. That's why like the episode from last week is coming out late. and we didn't
From editing.
and we didn't have any like new class records stuff. Because we're all
Wait. So you're
busy
chroma
checking.
keyed to your background. So what of your face matches your background?
Good question. Here it is. And this is what it gives me. Right? It's like that's not even the accurate color. Like it just takes
I
me
feel
out
like
of the
how
frame.
like Ghost Norm has like an epic like beard going on.
Yeah, dude, you got that whole Walter White
yeah, and
thing
you've
going
got a
on.
flying saucer in the background, right? Like right there.
I,
It is pretty cool, dude. Like I thought that was legit part of the picture.
And
why?
freaking technical difficulties.
I mean that's your skin tone is how many stops away from your background.
right? And it's just like, nope, you're yellow. You're definitely yellow. That's racist. My screen camera is racist. That's
Yep. What do you see? They're the same picture, sir. Just like see a picture of Norm and the wall.
I see flare.
Have any of you guys actually Googled like what the thing is?
Which one? The
Yeah, I did.
And
The error is caused by my Mac not having a good enough processor
so
to
it just
actually
decides
split
you're
me away
all
from
the
the
same.
background.
All right.
No, but the thing is, it figures your eyes and
So
your
the-
teeth. No, those stay.
It's smart enough for that, but not for
And
the
your
range
teeth
of
aren't like.
skin tone
It's not like your
versus
teeth are
the
getting much
yellow
lighting. It just
wallpaper.
figures. No. The teeth stay, and the eyeballs.
No,
Well,
the lips are
Little known
pinkish.
fact:
Nope, we're taking
apparently,
those out.
Assassin's Creed was done on a Mac because they can remove those things. I'm a living engineer.
That works. That works. I like it.
oh man, I should get like an old Mac and try to see what happens.
Because in fairness, it's a really cool effect in such a weird way. Hey,
Yeah,
once we had the Hollywoods, at least once we, not Hollywood, Halloween stream, where are you? I'm the Invisible Man. Norm has about no costume whatsoever. Just chromas himself out. Hey guys.
damn. Wait, no, Norm. Just out of curiosity, have you actually tried
Yes.
like without without wearing a shirt?
Not
Like how
now.
much of you sit not
Uh,
I mean,
now, but
like
have you
not
done
not
that
not,
before?
not now. I wouldn't
I'm not
want
gonna do it
to.
now.
I wouldn't want to
Nobody.
subject
That's
like
an
the
image
faithful
nobody
14
needs.
to
I
that
mean,
sort of
if it
torture, but
works, we won't see the image. That's why I kind of want to know. Like maybe after this, like just experiment. Just do it for science.
this is like the NSFW part
Just
of
see as
Bodega
a
Nights.
Norman to floating pepperonis or something.
That was exactly what we were going to ask.
Yeah, I was going. Is the tone just different enough that it decides? No, these stay.
As I'll figure it out and I'll tell you guys, but I won't show anybody anything.
It's just something that
So
I've been like so curious about ever since like that one episode with the X's Anonymous guys.
I don't know, man. It's like
When
I
somebody
feel like
brought
it's
it
a
up.
mystery that it's better left unsolved. Like nobody has to know.
No, there's some things we must know, and that's one of them. Science demands it. I don't know who science is, but he
No.
will demand it.
Science is a weird guy.
Hey, he's done things. I've seen the weird weird things people gotten money for. Like I still
What's it
cannot
really?
forget that whole experiment with the narcotics and an elephant to see what would happen. I don't know what the research paper was about, but apparently they got the money for it. They got the grant.
To give an elephant narcotics.
Yeah, to see what will happen.
Then
Science.
That's the only thing. Why did we need to know this? Who asked for this information?
can we like apply for a grant to check to see if we can artificially create a multimillionaire? I'll apply for that one. I'll volunteer.
We got a grant to see how if we can make this man a millionaire. How much is the grant? $1 million. There we go. Grant has proven it is successful.
Life hack.
With a
Stamp.
small grant of $1 million, we can make this man a millionaire. Observe. So what science you do? Oh, we just gave him the money. Done. Science.
Logic.
Hey, logically, it's how it works. If you throw enough money into this research, it will happen.
Oh, yeah. Just like narcotics and that elephant.
I still want. I really have to get that paper because I just got like the Spark Note. Is Spark Note still a reference saying something relevant to people? Let's assume it is.
Yeah, they have a website.
The Spark Notes version of that was they had this. They gave the elephant bad things happen to the elephant, and what they learned is don't give elephants narcotic, which I felt like should be something we should have known before. But the same way, there've also been a grant that gave these scientists way too much money to find out how a cat or a dog drinks water. I think it was a dog.
What?
Yeah,
I'm looking. I'm
Got
looking.
like a few dogs. I can like apply for that grant.
like I still look at this like, why did we give money to this? What did we learn for this? What does this teach us?
You know what it teaches me is that other people are giving their scientists a lot more money than we are.
Yep, and it's like the version of dumb money for science. Like, what can we like? We have way too much in the budget right now. Can y'all think of something dumb we can do to learn out of it?
Oh, they know a
I
little
think
bit
Joao
about
found it.
science, man. No, I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to find anything.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't
I just
able to find
remember
the
that paper popping up. It's feels like, why did we need to learn this? How much did we spend on this? I think it was a grant of like 10,000 USD or something to find out
Oh.
how like dogs, I think it was dogs or cats drink water. One of the two animals. I mean, it was cool to know.
yeah.
It's just I don't think I would have paid money for that to know.
But then, in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to like how much people could get for like a research grant, 10 grand is not that much compared to like the stuff that they'd be throwing into like a COVID vaccine, right?
You mean like things that actually matter versus like, let's see what this dog. I feel like the $10,000, like a good amount, that was just to rent out a like a slow mo camera, the dog, and the water dish. Like, go. We're doing science because we have notepads. Oh. You're gonna do this in the slowest frames ever. I'm gonna toss in some epic music here. Pay for that thing, and there's gonna have on YouTube get a million views. That's how we make our money back for the grant.
To be
I think
fair,
you can
slow mo
make money off
footage.
that, right?
I don't know, slow mo footage does seem to get a lot of play on YouTube. So
I mean, slow mo stuff is cool. Like, there's something that just looks so amazing in slow mo, and other things that just seem so trippy. Kind of like that hitting a water balloon with a racket. That thing's so trippy.
yeah, like the sort of classic like water balloon, you just pop it and for
Oh, then the skin just like peels off, and there's just
yeah,
water hovering.
yeah. I
Yeah,
actually
slow
remember
mo
there
So
is
was
cool like that.
remember there being a Discovery Channel show that was just like a dude with slow mo camera, and that was the first time that I ever saw like skateboard. Like they did a kickflip, and the amount of mechanics that goes into like a kickflip is amazing.
I mean, it's so quick. I don't really know what happens. I just know man and board goes up and then goes down.
Yeah, but like if you see slow mo footage of people like pulling off like flip tricks, amazing.
Oh, now. Okay, now I'm curious. I'm gonna probably check that after podcast. Like, I gotta see this because it just looked like such a simple action that's difficult to do. Not like there's so much mechanics in this thing.
Yeah,
But
so
talking about like random skateboard stuff, I found a really weird new thing to binge on YouTube, which was developers reacting to speedruns. And one of the things was Tony Hawk. That was freaking amusing. I never knew the game Tony
Tony
Hawk could
Hawk was
even be
reacting to
speedrun.
speed. Huh?
No, it was the developers
What?
of the game reacting to
Oh,
speedruns. It's an amusing thing to watch. It's that you see the amount of tears that animators have that these speedrunners will never see my cutscenes. Like, yes, that is the whole point. We will avoid their cutscenes at all as much as we
they're all
can.
yeah,
just filler. The goal of the game is to finish the game. And
So I
that's
do
what they're
like how
doing
one
as
of the
fast as
developers
possible.
pretty much straight up said the next game we make, we're gonna put hidden messages in the skybox that only speedrunners can probably find.
yeah,
Like, that's kind of neat.
yeah.
It's like a little message. So,
Unless,
speedrunning, huh?
unless speedrunners run past.
They find a way to avoid that one. We found out that
Yes.
missing this epic message makes it even faster. By how much? Half a second.
I mean, yeah,
But
that
it's the
seems like
record.
the sort of thing that a speedrun would do.
But yeah, it's an
You get-
insane binge seeing speedrunners do all the things. And I quickly learned I'm not that good at the game.
That's insane, right? Like the amount of time that they sort of put into just sort of
The utter
mastering
mastery
one
of what it
game,
is.
right? Like, yeah,
And I actually got to watch some speedrunners live, like on Twitch. What I learned is obviously what you watch on YouTube is the the run that worked. What they don't show you is the
Yeah.
sheer amount of times they turned on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off to reset their run.
Just to break it.
yeah,
And
I
like they
mean,
make that
That's gotta
call,
be
which like
annoying.
I made a mistake, but I'll accept it. Go, go, go.
yeah. Then and it's really weird, right? Because like you have there seem to be like two general types of speedrun, and this is just from my own observation. You have those speedruns that are people where people are still trying to figure it out, and
Yeah.
then you have speedruns like Mario Brothers where you can get it down to like the frame rule,
Oh yeah, that one's insane. Those
right?
things are
So
insane. I watch them like, okay, that's where I actually learned where there's certain games you cannot stream because people expect you to be just as good as everyone else. Like, oh no,
yeah,
no, that is not at all going to happen here.
yeah, but
There's
like
some
yeah,
games that are meant to be speed run. There's like, what are you doing? This is insane. Like every single like the Mario speed. Like, have you watched those gameplays where they do those Mario modded games where like it's like evil Mario or Mario a-hole type things? Those mods where it's like everything is just ridiculously difficult.
yeah,
When
like
people do
the whole
speed
Isn't
runs of those.
like the
Isn't like
Kaizo
Sonic
Mario.
just a game about speedrunning?
Ironically,
Sonic the
Sonic
Hedgehog.
isn't the most popular thing for speedruns. What you'd like to think the whole point of that is speedruns. But apparently,
Yeah,
Mario games are better to speedrun than Sonic, which is a strange thing to think about
A
when the
game
whole
about
point of
speed.
Sonic is making sure you finish levels as fast as you can. Do you literally get special bonuses for finishing, I think, every stage under a minute or faster?
yeah, but I don't know
Wow.
if I can remember if I can remember like Sonic, um, it doesn't seem as flowy as Mario,
No, it's not. Like,
right?
it's pisses me off in a way because I grew up with both, though I say with Sonic a lot more.
Yeah,
Sonic is you have to be quick, but there are moments you have to stop for a split second or you'll die. Whereas
yeah,
Mario, where if you do everything perfectly, you're rewarded with you'll not have anything hurt you.
yeah.
Which
Right?
I don't know if that's intended or not.
I don't know, but
Like I know
like
for
yeah,
Crash
that's
Bandicoot, that's what they
I,
mentioned. Is some things are intentional and some things are not.
I think because Sonic is a game this about it's a speed
Gotta
game.
go
So it
fast.
literally is
hmm,
designed to get you from point A to point B as fast as possible. And that's the challenge. So there's a lot less loopholes for people to exploit per
yeah,
se.
Okay,
Because
yeah,
it's
you make
because
a point there where the entire design is to make this correct in a weird way.
yeah.
Like
yeah,
we're gonna make sure you don't break the game, you follow the rules. Whereas Mario, it was never intended that way. It's we'll find a way to break this perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a platformer first and foremost. And how long it took you to finish a stage wasn't really something particularly noteworthy if it took you
I
four
mean, you
hours
got
to
three
finish one
minutes, right?
world.
Joao, I think you're bigger on Mario than I am. It's 3 minutes, right, per stage, or is it longer? So I remember some Mario's like 999 seconds, and I think some are 300 seconds.
I
What?
forget
No,
that
that's
part,
like
Mario.
5 minutes. That's longer.
then game time isn't real time.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, game time isn't
Wow.
real time.
Okay. I did not realize my mind has been blown a little bit.
I
I
don't
just
know.
assumed it's real.
I would look that up. I would look
Is
that up while
time
you
a
guys.
myth?
It brings me back to the good old days of coding in C++ and trying to figure out how to make the computer count in real time.
I found out how I can make a computer count from like 1 to 100. Apparently, you go C// format. It starts counting 1 to 100. Then it stops working.
Boom. It fried
1%,
itself.
2%, 3%. Yay! I learned computer.
All right. So on the topic of games and stupid research,
Okay, wait.
apparently,
But what
In
is it?
in Super Mario Brothers, one in-game count lasts zero point 0.4 seconds,
Oh,
24
okay.
frames and 60 hertz
that's how
NTS.
they're counting
Why?
their because that's how they count it, Nico.
So
Ah.
Mario Universe is a different time zone?
I mean,
Dun,
I would
dun, dun.
assume that it has a different time zone, but
It's a
it
different
has a different
universe.
time like a different
Physics,
yeah, like the
lower
rotation of the Earth,
everything.
the rotation of Mario World is like different.
Your
The whole
understanding of how things work are different from how things work
Well, I
inside the
guess in
video
fairness,
game.
even Minecraft, like freaking days are like the cycles are 20 minutes, I think. Like 20 minutes day, 20 minutes night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible. Like I remember what World of Warcraft when we took us 20 minutes just to get from the starting city to a dungeon, just all that walking.
I also remember those days where games became walking simulators where they made such massive worlds with absolutely no content in them.
Yeah, that was
A
that
weird time that
was
was.
that was the equivalent of like on mobile games where they have you like wait for
In,
like
in-
lives and stuff, and it
Yep.
takes longer to
you have
like
played enough. You must wait another 8 hours to continue playing,
yeah,
or
I think
yeah,
pay
the
us
Wii was the very first thing
$20.
I had that did that, where they tell you to like take a break.
yeah. But then like what's it? Well, the way mobile games do it, like the thing that pissed me off so much about the mobile version of SimCity was it was one of those games where you had to wait for like a building to come up. and
Like
you
real
could.
time.
Nah, it wasn't real time because for real time, like I'd still be on, I'd still be on
This
like one
building construction
city
will be done
block
in
or
like 2
whatever.
years. Got it.
But
I
like,
have laid out my city. So how are you doing? Oh, this still working roads. When you start like last year, yeah, we had some problems with budget, some bureaucracy here and there. It's
and
less
just
I gotta
like
like
work on
cities
some
and more
files.
bureaucratic simulator.
and just like real life, you could expedite the building
By
of that
handing some
building
extra cash.
by
Throw some
handing a
mush
couple of simoleons or whatever their
in the right
currency
places.
was, right? So like,
Yep, and
oh,
like boom, we're teaching you about real life. What I hated though was the Sims mobile version, which was you played literally only one character. Like, look, when I played the game Sims, it was to have a whole family and a whole bunch of things going on, not play myself. That was
oh,
a weird
yeah.
one, and it was real time, as in when it's daytime was daytime, was nighttime was nighttime.
But the
It's
point
like,
of The Sims was just to
why?
like trap somebody in a pool.
No, there are those players. There's the people. I'm going to make a beautiful house, and there's, hey, you remember that movie Saw? Yeah, it's about me.
There's
But I do like
probably
how
like
Sims apparently started as an architectural game. Like it's a game that where the
I can
Sims
see
are
that.
supposed to, yeah, that's apparently the Sims are supposed to grade your work and like how they enjoy it. Then slowly became a bigger aspect of just having people live lives. So, oh, okay, so from house making as a priority, it became secondary.
I like
And
how
as
the
the game
Sims.
developed, it became priority.
Huh.
I like
That
how
makes sense.
I forget if it was the Sims 2 or Sims 4 that I was playing, but I remember having the thought that Sims was a. I was thinking about Sims as a way for people to live successful lives. The fantasy.
Isn't that like almost every single Sims player has like made their crush? Like, look, it's me and my crush living the perfect
This
life.
is my with a perfect career, with a perfect like trying to build and maintain a stable house with just 3 people in the house without cheating is near impossible.
Hey, it was a great application of real life. No, the thing I hate most of the game is like, you need friends to get a promotion. What do you mean? I need a social life. That wasn't part of the deal.
That
So I
feels
started
like it's
looking for jobs that required as least amount of friends as physically possible.
and
Oh
ironically
man.
still true in real life.
Yep. Sims is a great
The
game if you think about it. It actually had lots of little aspects that we thought these are weird game mechanics as you grow older. Oh.
Now it makes sense.
I'm only
Actually,
I'm dreading um there was a there was this one day that I can remember just playing The Sims like the whole day. Uh, and it was let's get this one dude and let's have this dude live like the best life possible, right? Um but
all the money.
yeah, but then like no family or whatever, right? And then like
Best
a lot
life
of
ever. No family. What's a yeah?
No friends.
I know like
Yes,
a
this
lot
is
of
the best.
friends, right? You know, really popular guy or whatever, right?
So they live in a small studio type apartment with like a single bed, entertainment,
Or
and the
is this
kitchen
like
there.
or is this
Eventually
like a
it became
YouTuber
like a
mansion?
eventually it became a mansion, right? But then like at the end
We all
when the
get there.
dude died, like I felt this like emptiness, right? And I'm like,
Dang, it got done.
this is why family is important,
It's a horrible time to laugh, but yes.
right? Like I'm dreading, because this is one of those things where, like you were saying, whoa, that's a weird game mechanic, and when you grow up, you're like, oh yeah,
It
I'm,
makes more
I'm
sense.
yeah, I'm dreading that makes sense, right?
And this
Like
is why Joao doesn't have a pool
the
in his house, because he knows what'll happen. The
right?
ladder will disappear one day.
The feeling of the it was vicarious, obviously, but like the vicariously feeling the feeling of dying like alone.
There's no one there, and someone's gonna just sell your house.
Yeah. Well, what makes it even more scary is if the state is going to like take your house. But
Man, I didn't realize Sims did that. Government has come to reclaim its land.
yeah, right. Because if you don't have any legal heirs, right, it defaults to the state.
Actually, I
the
was never
bank.
sure about that. What happens there? Is that what happens? It just defaults to the state?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I just thought like it gets
Wow.
bidded out or something, like by
By the state.
oh like, yeah. I guess by the state because you won't have any legal anyone to help you out. Guess unless you have a
Nobody's
lawyer.
paying
Who,
taxes for the land, so somebody should
Yeah. So
bid it out in auction. We'll get them in taxes.
anyway,
come on, let's bid. Who here wants to pay extra taxes? I mean, wants a house.
Real
So-
estate wars.
so in other words, The Sims introduced me to the concept of existential dread.
Ah,
That
again,
was
another reason why Joao will never have a pool in his house.
Yeah.
If the god above me is like me, he will remove that ladder the second I don't look.
and like the shower will just disappear.
I'm a mute.
The doors will just-
fix.
Yeah,
Did
the
they ever
doors
fix
will
that
just
by letting-
disappear.
Or if they ever fix it by just like making the Sims just climb out of the pool like regular people. Like I've gone out of the pool just literally just climbing out, not using the ladder.
Yeah. I don't know.
Though
I
there's
mean,
also one thing I
haven't
learned:
played.
the Sims community. Dear God, the amount of mods! I never realized Sims had such a massive modding community, and
It
it's
seems like the type of
disturbing.
game that would have like
Yep,
a thriving
and their modding community is kind of disturbing. And I played Skyrim. I'm pretty sure there's a straight up Saw mod for Sims.
Well, that's scary.
So in fairness, again, yeah.
That seems
But
pretty
for-
cool though. Like,
But yeah, this I'm using all these things and all these strange developments out of this. But yeah, that game went from this is a funny mechanic to oh, so this is like real life. Man, I wish I was like my sim where I could force myself to just like exercise and get like smarter and stronger by pure force.
right.
You will improve yourself. You have no choice in this matter. Oh,
See,
you
the
want to watch
difference between-
TV? Cancel.
you can't complain to me.
It's just like it's like and I wish it was just like when you read a book like you get like a little bar
Progress bar
fill
above
up,
you.
right? Like, we could be like, oh,
I'm learning.
I just need to flip a couple more pages and I will have
I'm
more
like
knowledge.
2% smarter now.
I remember that. It was like a discussion. I don't know if it was a podcast or a comic where, like, saying, "Oh, life would be much more amusing if it was like an RPG where you could see XP." And like the guy's like, "Hey,
You-
I'm level like 52. That's awesome." And he looks at like level 1,500. I don't like this anymore.
Right, right. I mean, it sounds like a nice concept until you
Until you
start
realize,
comparing yourself
oh.
to other people.
It's like when you see those pictures, like people make like it's like a zombie thing where there's like a street or all these zombies, a guy fighting on top of like a police car, and they say like, where you think you are in the zombie situation, like the guy in the police car, where you actually are, this encircles random zombie. Like, yeah. What do you think will happen? What actually will happen? Here you are.
Actually, that's like I don't know, man. Like when if the actual apocalypse comes in our lifetime, like I doubt, I doubt we're gonna be like part of that group that makes it out,
Hey, we're gonna make some epic stories though on the way.
Yeah,
We
I
shall
mean,
write murals that they will paint over.
like we're gonna survive a little bit longer, I think, than the average person, but we're not gonna be part of that group that ends up like flying to Mars.
Ah, the Teslas, yes. I
And
still
so-
remember I still had this weird theory that the reason why like Elon Musk wants to go to Mars is he knows those massive batteries in his Tesla cars are going to cause so much problems that he's like, I need to leave the planet as soon as possible because once those batteries go bad, they can't touch me. I'm Martian now. Your earthling laws don't apply to me.
Man.
How would that work, actually, from a legal point of view? If you live in a different planet, do Earth laws apply to you?
That's kind of a
They
Topic
covered
of
this in
discussion.
The Martian.
They did? I would just thought potato.
Yeah, they covered it in The Martian. I don't know if it's actually true, but what they said was because it passes on to international law as marine law, and technically
Is space
it's
ocean?
it's uncolonized space. It's an area that isn't colonized, so you
It's
get to set your own rules.
I think, right. I'm not sure, but I think the current treaties um treat space in the same way that you treat the high seas.
So you can gamble.
Yeah,
No,
where there is no
The
there is
first
no
thing in Mars,
territorial.
space Vegas. It's legal here.
Yeah, because you don't have territorial jurisdiction once you've reached beyond your territorial waters.
So it's pretty
which
much it's
means
like
there
a
can
free
actually
for
be
all.
space pirates and space
Yeah,
marines.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like it's the I would
That's where
think
all the new
that's
servers are for like Pirate Bay and things is up in space. You can't touch us. I will
yeah,
go where capitalism has its touch. Space.
yeah.
I
Because
love
like
that red word thing.
there's that principle of like freedom on the high seas. I would assume that space is sort of the same thing
So it's
because
like a
Space is just a
no,
pirate
big
radio thing.
ocean that's less
yeah,
wet.
yeah, because no single state would have territorial jurisdiction
So you just gotta
in
put up
space.
servers, antennae to broadcast, and nobody can touch you if you're pirate. If you're like broadcasting pirated media.
Actually, like talking about that thing, how far
Mm,
does
yeah, I guess.
like when you own land, you also own sky rights. Where does sky rights end at that point?
Um, how high can you build?
Ah, that's the only thing. So Dubai is like, we will build higher.
I mean, I think that's how it works. Yeah.
So Burj Khalifa has the tallest one, I guess.
But
Because
why?
I remember that, like, there's it's air rights. Like, if you can sell, at least I remember that. I don't know if it's true. I saw in a movie, which right, it has something to it where you can sell people your air rights above you. You not sell them your land rights.
Uh,
Was that in like Ocean's 12 or 30?
No,
12,
no.
where they were
This
joking
one I
about
think
all
was
the air in the Tianjin province?
no. I was saying I think this one either came from Kinky Boots or The Devil Wears Prada. Probably Kinky Boots though. Nice movie.
Weird film. All right.
That's a weird film. It's interesting. In fairness.
I mean, it's a nice film. I saw it. But on that topic of right, not kinky boots. And real estate rights. Does that also cover underground?
Oh yeah, I know sky rights, but how far down do you own?
how
Right,
deep can you
right, right.
dig?
Yeah. How deep can you dig?
The mines of Moria.
I mean, there should be like a
The greed of the
theoretical limit
dwarves.
to how deep you can go because, in a weird way, if you had the technology, you could dig straight through and you wouldn't own the land on the other side, right?
Yeah, you know, this was I remember talking about these principles in like this class that we had on property. But if I remember correctly, it depends on um how whether or not you can utilize the property or something like that. So like how high can you build determines how much you quote unquote own above your property.
Okay, and how low you can go is how much of below you own.
I think
I
that's how it
don't
works.
know.
I could be wrong. I might actually be
Yeah.
very wrong.
This is one of those because I'm also wondering, I guess one way this could be like a question is like let's say there's an oil reserve under your house, but someone taps it first. Do you have rights to it, or is it first man to tap?
I think you should have rights over it. I
It's
think
one of those things. Like
there was actually like a case, at least in the Philippine jurisdiction. I seem to remember there being a case where like somebody built like a tunnel or something under like
it went
somebody
under
else's property.
houses. Yeah, it's like things like that.
Okay.
Like, what if you have a tunnel network? Like, how does that work? Is that illegal construction, or is it so low that you can't touch me?
No, it's theft, Miko. It's just theft.
Larceny.
It's still in your
You're
property, therefore it's yours. They just dug a tunnel towards the underneath your property so you wouldn't notice. It's theft.
If we have any lawyers in the
Or
faithful 14,
trespassing.
man, message us.
Because it's one
Like,
of those weird things
send us
that
an
I guess
email.
I guess
Contact
the average person wouldn't
channel14.com. You know?
wonder like how low is it legal to go when it comes to like the dirt. Like if I build a structure like 100 meters under Joao's like property, is it legal or is it only illegal once he realized I built 100 meters below his property?
It's probably the second part. But speaking of how low
It's
we can
legal
go,
until you know.
please subscribe to our Patreon. Like our channel, follow us on YouTube. We're also on Spotify.
Yeah, dude, because apparently we have to
That's
remind
how
people.
low we can go.
People need to be reminded for this sort of thing, you know?
Yep.
I mean, admittedly, I have to be reminded, like, you know, when someone says, like, oh, yeah, please
And
don't
then
forget to, like this video and subscribe. I'm like, oh, yeah, I should.
And one day I will
didn't know
probably
that.
do that with the people I watch.
It's like,
I'm constantly reminded, but it takes me like a year before I'd actually do it.
yeah, it took me a while
Eventually,
to
you
like, subscribe
still
to a
did.
bunch of people.
Yeah. Not enough reminders, really. It's just pure like, I think I should give you a subscription at this point or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, every now and
I
then,
meant
though,
that like if I
it's annoying. I get like these random things showing up in my sub box. I'm like, I don't remember subscribing to this channel.
Well, yeah, that one of the things that popped up, like, I have never subscribed to you. Why do I have you here? It's like a
Hmm.
random like Manila music channel that apparently made 5 videos. The most recent one was this year, and one thing, did I subscribe to you? Like back in 2013?
Hey? Or
I was so confused.
could have been like you accidentally clicked the subscribe button or whatever.
Yeah, but things like they didn't make videos for like since 2013. They made most recent video like a few months ago. That's why it popped up in my channel. Like, who are these people? Like, why do I have this here?
Yeah,
Who was I? Was I drunk subscribing? Yes. This
probably
this-
you probably were 2013.
something happened here. Like, aha! I shall subscribe to you, random music channel.
my thing is like
Oof.
I have to go onto my subscribe list to get updates now. Who did I subscribe to all these years ago? Let's see what they're up to. Oh, they stopped uploading. All right, okay.
I don't have the energy to run through my list to remove people.
Who was your first?
I just
do you
ignore
remember?
it.
Do you remember who was the first channel you subscribed to on YouTube?
Your subscribe cherry.
Huh.
Because I don't.
I actually don't recall. Probably if I dig through my YouTube, I can figure out what were the earliest channels I subscribed to.
But the first one,
I know, like, I know channels I subscribed to when it was below 100 subscribers, and it's now like insanely big.
Yeah.
I remember those because I only have one that happened to me where I subbed to a guy when he was like 120 subscribers. Then now he's at like 3 million, I think. It was nice seeing that guy grow. Apparently, he also hangs out Cebu every now and then.
huh?
What was the first thing I
Who was your
subscribed
YouTube
to?
first? Let us know in the comments too if you remember.
There we go.
Your YouTube first, guys. Share it
I
out.
really don't recall, but I'm pretty sure I will find like a channel that's just like, oh, does it tell you when you subscribe to it? I mean, that will probably help.
I don't know.
not.
I'm trying to find that out. Like, is there a way to do it? I mean, I just have like a list of all of the stuff that I
Yeah, this tells you what you're subscribed to. But I wonder, is there a way to say you subscribe to this first? That should be like a YouTube thing where they show you this is who you first subscribed to, like one of those milestone things. But in
Yeah.
fairness, we were in YouTube when it was like almost a nothing website back then.
It wasn't
Yeah.
not nothing. It had a lot of music videos. That's what we used YouTube for back then.
Yeah, like before YouTube, e-bombs and net like Newgrounds was my thing. Then I don't know when YouTube took over that, but I remember for a long time I would either hang out in e-bombs world and Newgrounds.
Mm,
I
Is
don't
e-bombs
have.
still a thing?
probably. There was
I feel like it should be dead, right?
multiply was the thing. We also got.
Oh wow, it's still alive. E-Bomb Sword's still alive. Whoa, whoa, okay. I am
hung out on
amazed. How are
all
you
of
relevant?
like a lot.
It looks so different right now. Okay. Yes, E-Bombs has changed. It's not the E-Bombs I remember anymore. It looks corporate now.
My first YouTube subscription was probably like a StarCraft caster.
Mine is most likely something that might be firearm related. Probably. I know FPS Russia was not the first person I subscribed to, but I know he's one of the earliest guys I subscribed to from that world. Same with like Nothing Fancy and things like that.
Yeah, so for me, it was probably like this guy named Moletrap or Diggity, one of those guys, or Clazart. Probably Clazart.
I remember Clazart.
Love that guy.
The old days. Remember when like gaming was still looked down upon and wasn't really monetized? How the
Heh.
times have changed.
A lot
I
of
wonder
money
how
in
far
there.
like the Bodega Boys could have gone if the world of gaming today was what it was when we were in our high points. We probably
we-
get our ass kicked horribly, but you know, we'll see
Would
how
we
far
have?
we go.
Are you asking like would we have made it to like tournament level?
Either that, or if like either
Regional.
that, or would we?
Yes, we
until we
would
made
have.
the
Let's
tournament.
perpetuate that. Let's perpetuate that, dude. We would have been, you know.
Like I don't know if
Should-
we end up becoming like people you watch for like kick-ass gameplay or the lulls. Because when you played COD, it'd be like super strict, like, okay, we have to do this to win. But then when it goes to Vietnam, it's like, no, Vietnam's different.
I mean, even
We're trying
even
to
when,
win.
even when we played Call of Duty, dude, we were still messing around, but we were pretty good, even though we were messing around. Like messing around with an M203.
Learning how to
seeing
do
just seeing
across
how
the map
accurate we
shots.
could get.
Yeah,
Right?
and, like that was something for the loss, but we were pretty damned accurate. Like from one spawn point to another.
Yep. Look, it's called
Yeah.
noob tubing true, but we're going to make it professional. We're not just going to
Yeah.
fire like upon sight. You're going to be here, and I will fire predictively into this area.
Right? Like and it
When
wasn't,
it got to the point where you were just messing around with sniping with scorpions
Yeah, that was fun.
and a red dot.
Yep. No, I was like,
gotta get that headshot, right? So that's the thing. And just for the people that know Call of Duty 4 maps, um noob tubing from one spawn point to another is pretty easy on a map like Bog. But
yeah, bog or like crossroads where it's like just no ambush.
Ambush was a bit harder though, because
A little bit like you had to get your angle down a little bit better, because I remember that was our first map that we had with those the impromptu clan war, which I don't remember if were you there, Joao, or is it just like me, Norm? I remember Grant was there, rest in peace, man. Was that one there? I don't know if you came in, but I know that at some point boys just slowly started building up, and it went from small 3v3 to like a 5 or to 5v5 or 6v.
5v5. I think John was there.
Yeah, John was
Yeah.
there. I remember because
sure.
it was
He was
John who
trash
said the
talking.
classic. This is like there's no mercy. This is a clan war. Like, oh, I guess it is.
what a guy. But like what's it? I can imagine Ambush was pretty hard because it's got like that elevated part in the middle. That's Ambush.
Yeah,
right?
you can't see anything, so you just have to kind of make a scientific wild ass guess to where to aim at times, especially
Right.
depending on how you spawn in the map.
Right, but then like say with a map like Bog,
Oh, no,
if
it's
spawn
so
on either
consistent where you're
sides, it's a very
spawning.
clear a very clear shot. So
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
you guys remember when I used to snipe you from across the map when like the game starts?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but we got to that level.
We
after
got
a
to
few
a level
months.
where we're looking for really weird ass angles.
We were glitching the game at that point.
It's like I
Yeah.
have to find what am I allowed to? Is this a real hole or a fake hole that I can shoot through?
Yeah, so there was
It's like we're
that.
going to freaking like fruit stands. Like this is a small little area here. Can I shoot? Yes, I can shoot through this. Die.
Like, I mean, some of my like proudest moments. Um, and this is really bad that this is like a highlight of my life, but
Shooting HE in the head.
no, dude, it was like after seeing you guys get a bunch of kills, where to put the airstrike,
Yeah.
right? Like being able to time that out,
Yeah, that was amazing.
right? Because like,
No,
oh
the best
yeah,
part
a
is when
bunch
they
of
hit that point in the game where the airstrike was preferred over the chopper.
yeah, yeah,
Because
it
the
was
chopper would come in and die within 5 seconds.
right with
Chopper's
like,
coming
everybody
in.
gets their
Chopper's
everybody
coming.
gets their rocket launchers.
Okay, it's gone.
But yeah, it was like after seeing people die, and I was sort of getting the hang of like getting a feel for where you guys were. At least like with Bog, for example, like when I know where you guys are, you can get a pretty good idea of where they're going to spawn.
Yep.
Right.
So after
Yeah,
seeing a
I
bunch
mean,
of
I
people
remember that
die,
mastery during the clan war where I pretty much told everyone, don't go past this line. Why? It'll force them to spawn over here where we
yeah,
can shoot them as soon as they spawn.
right.
That
So
was horribly mean. We completely broke that other group of people. It was beautiful.
going back to your question, yes. At our prime, we would have been esports people today.
Yeah. Then we've started making content like doing, hey, let's do our own little YouTube content and doing some let's plays and other things.
If we had,
Channel
in
14 would
some,
be in the gaming channel.
yeah, we would have been a gaming channel, and we would have been
And
taken
like
down by
third
the
world
Me Too
Linux would be
movement.
third world rig setups. This is how you set up your rig in budgets for the third world budget for the high end things, how to run it
Yeah.
off Linux, Mac, and other stuff. So you can be a gamer from any position.
I was thinking like at least for Call of Duty, we have like map walkthroughs and stuff where we all just sort of sit down and have a round table. All right, like this is how Crash works, right? This is how Countdown works. This is how
But
Overgrown
we
works.
did
These
do
are your
that.
best sniping spots. These are
We printed out maps and talked about positioning. We
Yep.
did do that. We just didn't have any of the streaming stuff.
yeah. Like I
We
would
did so
imagine
much
that
of the
that's
work.
I would imagine that's what we would be doing. Like
Yeah, I
now,
mean, if the
if we
culture
were,
of streaming today was back then, we'd probably been doing that.
yeah. We should actually do something like that. Just once. Just once.
Throw
Let's have
back to
like
the
a
before times.
let's just have like a Bodega Nights episode where like
We're
you,
doing a
me,
walkthrough
like
PowerPoint.
AG, right? We just sit and
Sharing the
look
war,
at
the Call of Duty war stories.
yeah, or we just have like the map of Bog open or whatever and be like, all right, so this is where you know this is the line that you're not supposed to cross. This is the best place to put your claymore. These are good sniper spots.
If you ever need tips from a game from like 2005, here come right
Hey
here.
man, they remade it for 2019, so it's
Yeah.
fairly recent.
I'm annoyed how
It's
Bog has not
still-
showed up, and I realized
it's
Bog is a
still
freaking
irrelevant.
tiny map to like play in modern maps.
Yeah, actually.
But that means Shipment has gone through so many iterations. Like Shipment still exists until today, and damn, Shipment is
people
small.
still camping on top of the crates?
Yeah, it still happens, but now it's a lot easier to find them because the guns have a lot better penetration.
Ah, sucks.
And the game's a lot faster, so it took a while for me to get used to. Like, just to be able to play again with the younger people where I learned, like, it's still amusing for me to watch my nephew play and see how he can correct himself on the fly, where me, like, look, if at my age, if I make the mistake, I'm gone. But you see him, like, he overcompensates and immediately fixes it with the mouse. Like, I can't do that. Not my age. It'd be, I overcompensated. I'm going to learn next life. That
Yeah,
made me
like-
fully understand the whole concept of once you're a certain age, you can't really do esports anymore because you'll just be beaten by just pure motor control of the younger people.
Hearthstone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, retired esports age.
Legends of
I am now
Runeterra.
hardcore gaming Genshin Impact or something.
Oh god, Genshin Impact. That thing's like those are the two things currently filling lots of my feeds because I see so my friends either streaming that is Genshin Impact and Among Us. Among Us, fantastic game. Genshin Impact, it just feels it doesn't talk to me, I'll be honest. It looks like a neat game, but just you feel like any other MMO at this point to me. I don't see why I'll jump into you. I would more sooner jump into Ragnarok or WoW just because that was more part of my childhood than Genshin is. Like it's just like it's cool, but it doesn't speak to me. Good thing Marzan is that he'd be like, no, leave my waifus alone. I really thought it was like when I first thought, is it a waifu game? Like, oh, it's an actual honest like RPG type game.
Yeah, it's an honest RPG game with waifu elements and gambling embedded inside.
Oh, what? Oh, wow. Okay, are you allowed to do that? Or is it like loot box gambling, which they say is somewhat okay in some countries?
Yes, it's loot box. It's loot box gambling.
Oh god, that was also a thing we got to see in our life: the introduction of loot boxes, and then the quote unquote fall of loot boxes because of all the amount of like legalities that happened around it. I'm still confused at the longest time how they said it's not gambling, which I think they just said because there's no monetary. You don't receive money out of it. It's the only reason why they say it's not gambling or something.
What?
Like it was legalese or something. Like it can't be gambling because you don't earn out of it.
But you're using gambling mechanics.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's a gambling mechanic, but since it did not give you money or anything at the end of it, it wasn't gambling.
It's an item of value.
I mean, it's like I would think it's game. It's like pinball.
Pinball?
That's straight up game. That's straight up game of chance, but it isn't gambling.
Is pinball a game of chance? I feel like pinball is a game that you actually have skill with.
So is poker.
True. I mean, but the skill set in poker is slightly different. It's not. It's also showing your face. Or pinball, I mean, there's a way you jiggle the machine.
I'm just thinking of I'm thinking of examples because I know that there are like a lot of things that use gambling mechanics that still have that element of this thing being.
I mean, I'd say booster packs, but booster packs still have the value of what they're printed on.
All right, Genshin does this thing with booster packs.
I mean, the thing about it, like, if I get a loot box from WoW and the game goes defunct, it's not worth anything. If MTG goes defunct, I mean, I still have the value of it being paper.
So they're making the argument.
Very expensive paper, but okay, sure.
True. Hey, that's much more than the ones and zeros, which cannot be utilized any further.
The value of that paper is dependent on the game.
When the end times come, you'll want my paper.
Right.
That's what
this is the only entertainment you're gonna have.
Okay.
Right?
But yeah, I remember that
when your phone stops working because there's no electricity. You're gonna go back to magic.
Like the game or back to witchcraft, my dudes. If you
Science has failed us, on to sorcery.
That'd be so amusing. Well, okay, science failed us. Break out the wizard books. Okay, we'll fight this way. Who wants to be a paladin? Oh gosh. Oh, that's also one thing that's amazing right now is tabletops are now apparently super popular during this pandemic, which I'm utterly shocked about.
They've been quite popular for the past couple of years.
About it?
There was a little
Mainly
bit
because
of
for me, I guess I'm so old school at tabletop where you physically have to meet up to play them that playing them online just feels so strange to me. It doesn't have the same feel to it. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been DMing, like, I've been a GM for what? 17, 18 years? I think I ever only ran 4 games online. That it just felt so weird.
But there's it's sort of been something that's been like there's been a resurgence of like tabletop like board games.
No, there's been a resurgence, but it's amazing that it's with online play. That's the one that surprises me.
I mean, it is bringing that experience that you had playing the Resistance or whatever, and bringing it like online, since it's sort of a proxy for what we once had, I guess. And like I'm pretty sure that eventually people are gonna go back to like playing Avalon or whatever IRL.
Actually, actually, that's also one thing I wondered. With the increase in popularity of actually card games, tabletop games, when things normalize again, will that mean that the cafes will be back to being really popular again, or what? Because I remember there's a point where like those board game cafes were like the really big in thing. Then they kind of went quiet for a while. Now very quiet for reasons. Probably better than internet cafes, though. I have no idea what internet cafes are going to be doing now.
Aren't
The
like
same thing,
internet
Miko.
cafes-
There's a huge demand for internet cafes for people who don't have home internet.
Yeah,
You guys
like,
are allowed to have those, or we're not allowed to open internet cafes here right now.
I mean,
They were
we're
like the
not.
first thing that were shut down here was internet cafes.
yeah.
Like they were threatened with, "We will remove your business license if you don't follow us." No other industry got that threat.
Yeah, because people kept on playing freaking Dota.
Man, Dota life. Remember when Dota was a map?
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was a UMS, right? Like whatever.
36B was the most stable. It's the most stable version. You had to pass the map version to every other computer through a USB, so everybody was
No,
on
you
the
could
same
download it
game.
via the LAN system. I mean, that's how we did in the dorms. Like, we download via LAN cable. Because, USBs back then were crazy expensive and were not disposable items. Not like today where I have like freaking 5 random USBs here. Remember when USBs used to be like, what, 8 MB?
Yeah,
Such strange times those were.
I remember what was that? Actually tearing the hard drive off of my computer to bring my files over to another friend's place.
Bring the whole drive over. I remember at the
Yes,
times I
gonna be-
brought my whole like PC unit just to do like LAN gaming with friends. Back
And
when
now-
LAN gaming was a thing.
Now you
I think our
can't,
whole
even if you bring your PC to your friends.
Yeah,
You
because,
can't
like, we
LAN
don't do
game.
LAN.
You'd be like, do you
I
have
think only
Wi-Fi?
a handful of games that are actually allowed, most of which are indie games. Also, one thing I quickly learned about a game that I actually streamed a lot, which is Vampire the Masquerade, was apparently it had a multiplayer on it that was deactivated, that some modders tried to reactivate. Apparently, there was a multiplayer that allowed co-op and like death battle type things, which is kind of weird, but it makes sense because it ran off the Half-Life engine. So the option was just there.
I feel like
Strange
going
thing to
back to the tabletop uh we say that complaint observation you had before, it's kind of like the early days of the pandemic, and we all had to try to adjust to having meetings on Zoom and being productive while only seeing the people there on the screen pointing up because it's Miko and
And if
Joao
our
above me.
houses were on
But-
stilts, this would be so Jetsons right now. Who ever thought Jetsons would be one of the possible futures that we'd actually have? Freaking video conferencing, doing work,
Cogswell
pressing
Cogs.
buttons.
Well, apparently,
Hey,
people
you
in
were-
the 60s thought that.
And they were right. They knew.
robots
The
that will
future's gonna be
clean our
robots.
apartments.
Hey, we do have that. I have a freaking robot that cleans my area. It's a freaking like Roomba type thing.
Hmm.
It doesn't give me, interesting
doesn't need
top
to-
like a Rosie does, but hey,
It doesn't have to lift your couch because it fits underneath it.
Yes. We got that. We have
Depending
like freaking
on
like
where you are on society in the Hanna-Barbera universe, you're either the Jetsons or
the Flintstones.
Flintstones.
Which people say are the
Right?
same universe, which I'm not sure if that's a thing. But I remember there's so many fan theories or something that Jetsons and Flintstones
They
are
had
one universe.
crossovers.
I was
No,
going
but
to
the
bring that
crossovers
up.
were
Yeah.
time machines, but there's some people saying that's not actually time machines. There really are like the people in the Flintstones are just the people who live below because, as you said, they pointed out like Jetsons, they're on stilts with flying
Yeah.
cars. They're not in space. Like it's very obvious they're not in space. They're just on giant stilts. So people say, what's below the clouds? And they're saying below the clouds might be the Flintstones things. That's why they have modern technology, even though they're not modern. I mean, they have Christmas, which makes no sense for the prehistoric family, of course. Well, of course, they'd say, yeah, but it's a TV show. But they have all these quote-unquote modern conveniences, animals that can talk. So they're saying, what if these are just all robots? And they just chose to live like, primitives.
I feel like the
theory,
Jetsons are actually.
the theory that I heard
Yes,
was
yeah.
something along the lines of there was an extinction, like an extinction level event. Some people were able to like escape up, while others had to
Above the
rebuild from
clouds.
scratch.
They're the mole people.
Yeah, something like that, right? That was the theory that I heard. And the crossovers, like the time machine, more than anything else, was an elevator.
We shall go to prehistoric time. It's a freaking lift. Here is the past. It's like, we're not in the past.
There's
We're just
also
in
the-
poverty.
what was
The
it?
past.
I don't know.
I mean,
It's also possible that
that's
because everybody's above the clouds, it's anything under the clouds is death. So you could say that the Jetsons are a dystopian future.
Actually, yeah. I mean, like that was kind of the crux of the theory, right? That
Yep. And I
like
never
it was
realized
a
that
bit of a
Jetsons only
dystopian
had 2
future.
seasons. You know that? Jetsons only had 2 seasons?
But then the
It only
seasons
had
had
two
like-
seasons.
something like 30, 40 episodes per season, right? Or something like that.
Yeah,
Had like an
and
insanely
they
high number
were,
of episodes.
and both seasons were about like 20 or something, like 20, 30 years apart from each other. Like it was massive, like
Wow.
the time difference between season 1 and season 2. That's why like the characters and stories from season 1, season 2 are so different from each other. Like everyone acts very differently.
the Flintstones were also kind of like that as well, right? Like they had a couple of different eras or whatever.
True, but they were more pop culture-y, that they were more consistent then.
Yeah,
Jetsons, like,
yeah.
Child
more
Bam Bam
seasons.
to adult Bam Bam.
I mean, it was
They
like,
also had a lot more spin-offs for sure.
yeah, but like say,
Flintstone
for
season, I'm actually
example,
checking that right now.
there was that green alien in the Flintstones, right?
Yep.
And that green alien didn't show
The
up
Martian.
until like much later, right? Like that was, and there was a significant chunk of time between when the first season came out, or when the
They
earlier
had-
season and later
Okay,
season came out.
apparently they had 5 seasons.
The Flintstones,
Yeah.
and
Plus 3 more than Jetsons, and that's not including their movies, their spin-offs, and all the other stuff like Flintstones Kids.
when was the season? Well, there was like a really long season break though, with the Flintstones.
Let's see here. Yeah, there were some weird jumps. Like there was like a season that ended in 73, the next season's in 79, then it jumps to like the next one, like 82, the next one was 86. Then from after 88, the next season was 96 with the cartoon Cave Kids, which is a whole different thing.
Yeah, so like that's what I
Wow, they
remember
were
from
really
The Simpsons. It
inconsistent.
was like
God, can you imagine that today where like freaking shows like it takes a number of years to get the next season? Like you can literally there's
Isn't that
people
regular
who,
anime?
nah, I mean like mine with Jetsons, like you could literally watch season 1 of Jetsons, graduate, have a family, have kids, see season 2 and say, hey kids, look at this. I saw this when you this thing was a show from when I was younger.
I think that's kind of the point, right?
Was it? I just felt like they just felt that cartoons were not a thing yet.
Yeah,
Like
but
cartoons
you know,
was such
Yeah,
an
they were trying
experimental
to
thing back then. They
Connect.
didn't even know what to sell to. Like they didn't know, is it for kids? Is it for
Generations.
adults?
I mean,
Flintstones had like freaking
It's yes.
cigarettes commercials in it
yeah, but then it was
Why not both?
the 70s,
and alcohol.
Dude. It was the 70s, man. 70s, 60s, 70s were like, improve your health, have a cigarette.
It was fine.
If you didn't have health warnings yet.
yeah, dude.
Back then, cigarettes were healthy.
yeah, right. They were
Cancer
marketed
can't
as-
prove that cigarettes caused it.
But yeah, even back then, you'd straight up see alcohol in TV and it'd be fine. Now that's like a massive no-no. Like if you show
Yeah.
alcohol, like usually you can't say it's alcohol, it's just insinuated and no one drinks it. Unless it's really meant for like, oh, this is like for teens. I don't even think teens. It has to be adult entertainment, quote unquote.
Yeah. And stuff like you have to show people wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah.
That was really funny. Unless you want to show that this person is like a bad dude. No
Yeah, he didn't
seatbelts
wear the
and no
seatbelt or
cigarette.
anything. Such weird times we lived in. Like, these were the rules back then. It was the wild, wild west where anything could happen.
If you weren't wearing a seatbelt, it meant you were a bad guy by
Yeah, that's
default.
actually
And you see the scantily clad ladies of the days. That's just what we call modern fashion. Freaking
that's
Saved by the Bell. It's like all the
Saved by
risque
the Bell.
ladies showing their slight midriffs and caprice pants. Oh my gosh, you can see more of their ankles and waistline. Now, hey, look, that girl's wearing a bikini.
Yeah, it's really weird though. Like the things that are taboo.
Makes you
And
wonder
the
30
things that
years from
were
now when you
taboo.
look back at things like what's going to be like weird now that they're talking about that they'll see that like man, can you imagine people were so weirded out by people having to wear clothes?
I'd like to think marijuana.
Right?
Yeah, I can imagine that. It goes up and down. Like that thing was like really in the weird area during the main parts of television where it was heavily said it's bad.
Yeah,
Because that's going to change. I mean, back then they said you could buy like cocaine and things from the store when the first parts of TV.
yeah. Like like I would imagine like 30 years from now, and this is, you know, I would imagine that marijuana wouldn't have the same uh, signification as it does today,
Oh, today, yeah. Wonder
right?
what'll be there. Well, I wonder what the future's new marijuana be.
I don't know.
Techno weed. It's ones and zeros you inject straight into your system.
Yeah, that was actually something that I was thinking about, right? Like how things
Straight
come
up
to
dopamine.
mean like different things in media eventually. Like I don't have it on me now, but the Casio that Casio watch, I think it's the MW53 or something, the one
Yeah.
with the calculator on it,
Yeah.
Yep, I remember those.
right? Back in the 80s when like Marty McFly was wearing it, Back to the Future too. It was it was a vision of the future. It was that's what it signified. But if you see somebody wearing if you see somebody wearing that watch now, that is just telegraphing to the whole world like, dude, I am a nerd, but not just any nerd, like a nerd that is steeped in nostalgia. You know?
Yep. You're one of those weird retro nerds. Like, yes, I remember the olden times. Look at my future old technology. Look at
I've
my
got a
pager. It
Betamax
still
at home.
works. Hey, Betamax, in fairness, is still pretty
Something
cool.
different. I really love that watch. It's an amazing watch.
I remember
It's got a
watching those on the
calculator.
TV.
I remember those watches were banned from school because it had a calculator on it, and they
It
double checked
destroyed the
those watches
teacher's
for
whole
tests.
thing. You don't have a calculator on you at all times. I have my calculator right here, sir.
20 years later,
Phone. You need to memorize this. Future. Ha 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 ha. That was a lie. When universal translators would be a thing.
Pretty soon. Well, it was surreal because like my Japanese is now terrible, right? But when I was a
Okay.
kid, I used to be able to speak it fairly well. Um,
Mine is kind of
but
up and down.
right, but like the last time I was in Tokyo, I managed to hold a conversation with somebody at the hotel using Google Translate.
That's cool.
I mean, it wasn't a very deep conversation or anything. It was just like, hi,
Because I'd like
I'm
to think that
here
that's
on
the future now,
vacation.
especially with how popular things like Zoom and all these things are, is having an on-the-fly translator to communicate with other people might be interesting. Even be like an audio thing or just straight to caption. I'm saying this, and it'll be like a 1 or 2 second delay to just give me, like they say, "Oh, konnichiwa," then they'll just like, "I want hello."
Yeah, like
So there's gonna be like live.
Google Translate has something like that actually,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they
like
were
okay.
marketing it a couple years ago.
like a conversation mode or something
So you can
where
talk to people Subtitles on.
Yeah, yeah. It's sort of like
Yeah.
it's on your, you just have your phone out like that, and then you're just talking, and whatever I say like
They
shows up
were
in whatever language they're.
I mean, that'd be cool, like for streaming, if you could add that as like a like a on-the-fly caption thing. As I'm talking, it'll just translate. Though I feel like how many times it'll give a wrong translation will be hilarious.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Like, what did he tell us to do? No, 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 no. That thing's like especially like say like metaphors or like weird like colloquial things that mean so much to us, but when translated like, excuse me? What did he tell us to do?
I imagine like if we ever have that technology like regularly applied, films like Lost in Translation would just lose its meaning.
Yeah, it'll be lost in translation. It'll lost due to
They were like,
translations.
remember that time when everybody made translation jokes because they didn't have this app?
Because I mean that would be I feel like that's a logical step with the whole like online conversations, everything. Like this should be the technology people are looking into. Like I need an on-the-fly translator so I don't have to hire someone. I can do this. I can talk and even have classes or join classes from around the world. Is when they're talking, it might not be perfect yet, but that would be an amusing option. Because right now it's pre-recorded stuff, or you have someone who literally translates on the fly. It's pretty crazy.
But yeah, I mean, it's sometimes you really do need like that, somebody that speaks the language, because so much of language is nuanced.
Yep.
A lot of
It's
it
like
I
reading
feel
my
like
has
if
to
side
do
anybody's
friend
gonna
stuff.
be if anybody's gonna be doing it, it could be like a combination project between Netflix and Google, with Netflix's international shows needing
yeah,
all the translation for all the languages.
Yep.
yeah, but there still has to be sort of a human in that process, and
QA team, yeah.
part of it also um, is that language is a moving target. I mean, like people don't.
It
Yeah,
changes.
yeah, yeah. People don't like to think of language as something that changes, but language definitely changes.
That's true.
Yeah, it's like what was grammatically correct or what was spelled correctly, you know, 50 years ago, might not necessarily be what it is today. In fact, it is people trying to insist upon correctness in language that gives us weird spelling in English.
And then you look at the French. No, we have government office for this.
Yeah, that's why French spelling is even weirder than English spelling,
Like
because the French were like,
bonjour. See the
no.
word. Like there's so many other things here.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
that's the thing with France, right? Like they were very big on preservation. So as people started pronouncing things differently, the spelling didn't change because they had too many people that were sticklers for that sort of thing.
and
Yeah.
because of the new social media and being able to talk, we can literally see language evolving evolving in real time. Like in this month, we can see new words added, new words gone, things that were a high point
New
that are now
slang.
completely dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Heck,
Um
it's not used much anymore, but heck, Raffle was still pretty popular. But of course, now we just go lol,
yeah.
which is
There's
funny. It's like people understand we're laughing. It's just like lol.
but
It's not even ha ha ha.
the thing with language is completely unregulated. And by regulated I also mean like having to teach English in an educational system and all of that sort of thing. Language evolves quite quickly. Um, if we examine or if we look at how language has changed um, in three languages that at least Miko and I are fairly familiar with, um, English in the Philippines, Tagalog in the Philippines, and Cebuano in the Philippines. English is very studied. We have a lot of writing in English that's available, and it is the thing that has changed the slowest in the Philippines.
Hmm.
Tagalog changes a little bit faster because there is less stuff that is written in Tagalog. like the Tagalog of 40 years ago, 50 years ago, we now think of as like,
So
whoa, that's like, dang, dude,
Super
that's deep.
deep and like, what is this?
Yeah, but like the English
nobody
that
talks like
our,
that
you
anymore.
know, the English that our grandparents and parents spoke like 50 to 70 years ago is still, it isn't archaic, it's just old, right?
Yeah, it's like people will get what you're saying. It's just like we don't really say that anymore.
Yeah. And then Cebuano is even more like Cebuano in Cebu. Freaking when I was in high school is quite different, right? So because it isn't as studied,
Yeah, it
and the
evolves with the community.
right, and like the effect of this you can see in places like the UK, where there are more variations of English than in the US. Because in the US they were big on education, right? The Puritans were very like strict about language and all of that stuff, which is
Yeah,
why there is more homogeneity, if that's the right word, in the Englishes around the United States until fairly recently. But like the UK, for example, in a comparatively small um, landmass, you have so many more variations of English than you do, say, between you know 3 or 4 separate states in the United States, because there was not as much regulation of language, whether intentional or unintentional, in the United Kingdom.
hmm.
So
That's
language was able to evolve a lot quicker. And so somebody from Liverpool and somebody from Manchester have very noticeably different accents, even though, they aren't as, even though they're fairly close-ish to each other relative, say, to like 2 cities within the same state in the US.
actually, I think I remember seeing a bit like that in that movie Hot Fuzz, where it would be like be a guy talking, then a guy had to translate it, quote unquote, to the other. Like, oh, that's what he's saying. But they're all essentially talking English, but the accents are just so heavy that the other guy, I've never heard this before, and I have no idea. No, don't worry, I'll tell you what he's saying. Yeah, he's saying this. Like, oh, okay, can you tell him this? Like, oh, okay. But you can tell it's all versions of English.
Yeah,
Just makes no sense to us because the accent's so heavy that feels like some words are completely made up or just completely gone as they're talking.
yeah.
Such strange things. Which makes you wonder, what would Goathead be?